Calls TV. We are here with Ron McMaster in the Capitol Mastering Studios. Ron, how long have you been with us here at Capitol?
I've been with the company for 30 years now.
Wow, 30 years. Well, Ron here, he cuts the vinyl master before it goes off to the plant to make all the different stock that ends up at everyone's home. So he's going to walk us through the process here. So stay tuned, and Ron, let's get to it.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Early in the morning we'll be starting out. Some honeys will be coming along. We're loading up our woody with their boards.
When a client comes in and they want they want some vinyl made from their CD, they come in, they bring me the CD, and we import it into the digital workstation, and then we decide where the side splits are. We make those side splits, and then I do my math and numbers to see how long the sides are, and then I will go through the album and make sure that any of the EQ that's already on here, because it's already a finished CD, we try to keep it as close to intact as the original is, so the client doesn't lose his original sound from the CD, but I have to make sure there are certain elements that aren't in there that are going to cause me problems in the vinyl cutting. Once I've done that, I'll go through and cut the sides, and we'll do the A side first and make sure everything is okay there, and then we will, once that passed, then we'll stop and we'll cut the B side. But every album and every record you cut is just one groove, so if you find any problems in that side, once you've run it down and looked through it, if there is a problem, you have to stop and go through, test it, solve it, and then do the recut. So it's all real time, and it's all kind of a slower process than people are used to nowadays. Okay, now you're looking at the process when we're coming off of tape, and we're going to take the original analog tape of an album and from the Studer disc mastering machine, and we're going to take that and we're going to go through the console and take all of our settings from the notes that we have and make our proper adjustments, and then from there it goes out over to the lathe and through the cutter head, and then we cut onto the disc here, which will in turn eventually go to the pressing plant. One of the things that we used to do here at Capitol years ago is called the direct-to-disc mastering, and that is when you have an artist in our Studio A, we run cables up to the mastering room, and it's going directly into the console. We do our EQ, and then it goes live right to the lacquer. Lee Rittenhauer used to always come here and do these live direct-to-disc albums, and they were just unbelievable because you don't have anything in the middle, and any tape or any especially at that time, no tape or anything in the middle. It just goes live directly to the disc. So the players are playing when the song's over. There's helpers there helping them change instruments, and they start the next song immediately within the next 2 to 3 seconds. And so there's no room for error on anyone's part. The mastering engineer, the players, the engineer down in the studios. So it was all a very exciting time for us here in the mastering world, because there was no room for error, and those records just sounded terrific. Well, when we're finished cutting the lacquer, after we've inspected it and we've signed off on it, we know it's good to go to the plant, then I have to scribe in by hand a selection number or some kind of a number to identify the client's album. In our world, it's called a scribe number. And so I will put that number in over here in the real small little area, and I will scribe that in there. And as well, sometimes in the past, over the years, people will like to put in little hidden jokes, something short, something that nobody else kind of gets, but they know it's kind of special. The Eagles used to do this, various bands. If you look at the old records, you'll see little funny sentences or just little sayings that don't make sense. It's kind of an inside joke, and that becomes very popular. So people will ask me to put that in there too, and I do it, and as long as it's not long, we can get it in there.
Well, Ron, it was great, very informative. Thanks so much for taking us through this process.
My pleasure.
You know, while you've been here, have you had any favorite projects you've worked on at all, or any crazy stories?
Yeah, I've had a few that have been fun. One real memorable occasion was when I was mastering vinyl on the Pet Sounds 40th anniversary, and it just so happened at the same time there was a little ceremony for the Beach Boys upstairs on the roof giving them awards. And then, unbeknownst to me, after that was over, the producer brought the Beach Boys down here, so while I was cutting their Pet Sounds album, they were in the room here and they were checking it all out, and they were just so excited to see vinyl coming back again. And so excited, in fact, that Al Jardine, talked me into cutting him his own personal disc later on, so he could have a one-off of the, the new high-res mixes from the Pet Sounds.
That's amazing.
So that was really a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So great. Well, thanks again for all your help.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
by. Glad to share it with everyone.
Stay tuned on Capitol Vaults TV for more great.
This is an original Capitol mastering, disc mastering console. This was all customized here at Capitol from the old days. It's all quite customized underneath with cards and so forth, so I can do CD mastering. But it is for disc mastering. I have the Neve EQs, the Sontec EQs, and with that I have a crossfader, so when we make our notes on the various songs, I go while one song is cutting, I'll set up my notes and apply those settings for the second song, and then when that second song comes up, we crossfade over and fade down, fade back up again, and now we're on this side of the board. And then while that song's running, I'll come over here and set up my notes and my EQ for the next song, and so forth and so on until we get all the way through the record. Then the record's being cut over here on the Neumann lathe, VMS 70. It was installed here in Capitol in the early 70s, and it's a great sounding lathe. It's very transparent, and has a real good sound for pop, rap, or whatever you might be bringing into us.